Hello and welcome to the Video Game Book Club. I'm Savvy.
I'm Elise.
And we read Myst, the Book of Atrus.
Atrus. I said Atreus in our last one.
A lot too.
And I will probably say Atreus again, but it's Atrus.
I have the notes here where it's Atrus, Gehn, and Denis, and I want to say sorry to the Myst heads / the Misters out there. I will mess up words. I don't speak Denis. So what is our history with Myst?
So the book is written by Rand and Robin Miller with David Wingrove, which I read somewhere like he comes on later. But this came out in 95.
Yeah.
Myst the game, for those of you who
right?
are unaware, came out in 1993 and it was for the Mac only.
Ew.
So we did not growing
up. Now it's on everything.
Now it's on everything. But when it first came out, it was only on.
You sure?
Yeah, I looked it up.
All right.
It was only on the Mac because we didn't have it, our cousins did. And so that's the first time I played it, was at their house. And then later, like a couple of years later, it came on to the PC for Windows. Or maybe that was DOS. But I did not get very far because that game is super frustrating. They give you 0 directions on where to go and what to do, and you just kind of are supposed to wander around. So I did not finish that game or get very far in it. And then I think we got Riven first.
Interesting.
And then, because I had played it, and I think Austin, our brother, finished it. But, I didn't get very far.
Riven or whatever, I didn't play that one, even though that one I think is more related to this book than Myst, I would say.
So when I was reading this book, I'm like, the only thing I remember from Myst was there's people trapped in books. You have to find 3 books, and you go up to people's houses, and they're like, rah, 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 get away from me.
You go up to people's houses?
Yeah.
That's not even true.
Maybe that was in Riven, then. Maybe I'm just conflating the two.
I think that was in Riven. I never played Myst until now. I actually played it after reading this book. So I didn't know anything about Myst going into this book.
I feel like it is more helpful to know the story of Myst when reading this.
I think so too. It can be a little confusing, I would say, but I don't know. It wasn't that bad. I feel like I got it.
From what because the little things that I remembered, stuff
going
pops
into
in,
a book,
and when they bring up Myst and Riven and stuff like that in this book, then you're like, oh, I know what that is.
So this is the first book in the series of novels.
It is the fascinating prequel to the CD-ROM phenomenon. It's on the cover.
But Hyperion wanted a published author to work on this book, so that's why they hired David Wingrove to rewrite the story with the help of Richard Vander Wayne. It was published in 1995. Because the Rand and the other one,
Robin Miller,
are the 2 who made Myst.
Yeah. And
they wrote the Book of Atrus, and this is kind of like a Book of Atrus plus.
Yeah.
Where it has like
Junior.
It's the same story, but there's more in it. There's more stuff. There's more stuff going on.
So there is a interactive cast reading on Internet Archive.
And that's not this one.
That is the one from the game.
Yeah.
But it's somewhat close. Like, it's missing some sentences in there, but it was pretty close.
I didn't finish it because I was like, why would I listen to this if I have to read the entire
you have to go back and
fat
read the book.
So,
and I think the book's out of print too.
It is out of print.
We got it from Thrift Books.
I could not find an audiobook because it doesn't exist, and I couldn't find the ebook because if the only way to get the ebook was to like do a Kickstarter is what somebody on Reddit said. So
how's that a Kickstarter if it's already started?
To bring the books back. I think it was to create the Myst, like, because you can buy all these books in like one book.
Yeah, that one was expensive, so I bought them all individual.
So these books are hard to find. I'll say the sentence later. You want to read the back?
The Age of Myst are worlds of adventure and awe, of mystery and beauty, of intrigue and betrayal. The world's best-selling CD-ROM game is just a piece of the picture. Now take a step into the fictional legend of Myst. These pages are your link to the story of Atrus, the son of Gehn, in the last race of the Denis, the masters of the craft of linking to other worlds through the descriptive art and writing on special books. For most of his young life, Atrus thought...
It's not Atrus.
It might be Atrus. Atrus. Atrus thought the stories his grandmother told him were just strange legends. Then his time came to explore the magnificent underground realm. The Book of Atrus is a tale of son against father.
It really is.
Of truth versus evil, of love and redemption. You will travel to the wonderful new ages. I don't know who's redemption.
Who's redeeming?
And have all your questions answered. I still have questions. For this story ends where the world of Myst game just begins.
That's true. The final sentence is the first sentence in Myst, which was kind of cool when I finished the book and then I went and played Myst and I was like, it's the same.
It's the same. You gave this
5 stars. It was good.
I gave this 3 stars.
Yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to fight right here, live in front of you.
Part of that is the redemption, because our villain, there are no good qualities whatsoever.
Do you have to have your villain have redeeming qualities?
I need my villain to be somewhat humanistic.
He was humanistic. A dick. Have you not seen Bad Dads? Like, he is an egomaniac.
Yeah.
But, like, you've seen guys like that.
Yes.
He obviously got some because he has a son. But, like, sadly, those dudes do get it.
I would like to know where the mom came from because she's barely mentioned in this book at all.
She dies in the beginning.
And the next book, I think, is Anna's book. Tiana.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in reading that. I wonder if it goes, like, back, like, to the story that they tell several times from different angles. But I also, there were some things I found unclear. I found some like holes that I was like, oh wait, I just don't understand. And the way this is worded, so I do read, and we'll probably put this online again, the first couple chapters of the book. It was difficult to read aloud because of the structure of the sentences.
Really?
Like, it's a little bit more, it's an older book, so it's a little bit more wordy than what we're currently used to. And I definitely had to go back and re-record some parts. But, and the fact that I keep calling him Atreus instead of Atrus. Or Atrus, or...
I think of Atrium. Atrium.
But it's like, I'm used to Atreus, and I'm like...
It's not God of War.
There's no E! Isn't Atreus the Neverending Story?
I don't know. I didn't read Neverending Story. I just know that's your son in God of War. I would say this book provides a lot of background information about the Dunny and the persons of the game, Atrus, following him through birth to early youth with his grandmother Anna, and we meet his father. What's crazy to me is that, so his father is a megalomaniac.
Dick. And
he's got a real big god complex. Mm-hmm. And his sons, as in the game, both of them have the same issue.
Yeah.
So it runs in the family. So the fact that both his sons and his dad have that in them, I'm like, Atrus, are you sure that you're not a little bit like that?
Well,
is it a gene? Like,
you do kind of become your parents a little bit as you age.
Yeah,
in particular.
I watched the bunch of videos about the rest of the series because I actually didn't want to play any more Myst.
There's like 5 games.
There's a lot. And he's a good guy through and through throughout the entire thing.
It's because of his grandma.
Probably.
Not a lot of characters.
That's nice.
So
the chapters are pretty reasonable, I would say.
Yeah, lengthwise.
There's a lot of them.
So I have a mass market. There's technically 20. There's 25 because there's a prologue and an epilogue.
Yeah.
But it's about a little over 400 pages. Well, actually less than that because there's the first part of the Book of Tiana, which is the second book in the series. Little preview in the back, but for mass market, that's pretty good. It's not.
It has pictures.
It does have pictures, which was super helpful. The drawing, you can tell it was concept art.
This is how we draw a frog.
They're like, it has a lot to do with the structure of like the island and certain things, which was
it's
like,
cool.
What are you talking
It was like
about?
finding a little notebook.
Yeah.
But it's not really written like a diary, so.
No, it's not. And there are all these little, like, breaks in between the chapters. But that's another thing, and I put on
like
Fable. I was like, I really need a better transition between chapters, because all of a sudden something happens at the end of one chapter, and then, like, you're, like, all the way in the future for the next one. I was like, what happened? What happened to the end? And they, like, kind of come back to it eventually, but I was like, I just needed better transitions. Like, it was, I mean, I liked it. I would like to read the other books, but...
I liked it a lot. I didn't think I don't know. I don't know how I felt about Myst because I didn't play it, so I was like, well, I know Myst is difficult.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
But what I have to say about Myst, after playing it, I almost gave up after the first era. Mm-hmm. I think wandering around the main zone
I think that's probably one of the games that everyone has tried to play and very few has finished.
You can finish it, because here's what I have to say about Myst. Wandering around the first area, you're lost and confused. You don't know what you're doing. It's frustrating. But the main hub area kind of gives you all the answers to every puzzle, if you know where to look. Mm. And I think everybody has is it called an era, I think, when you make a world and you go into the book? An age. I'm going to call it era. When you go into one of the ages, there's always going to be one that you just can't figure out.
Yeah.
I watched a talk from one of the creators about this game, and they said they wanted to make a puzzle game for non-gamers. And I can kind of see that, because you remember the old adventure games where the puzzles were convoluted? They were like, put this rope with this chicken, and then you wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah. I do want to say, around the same time that this game came out, because we had PC, we played The Seventh Guest, which was a superior game.
So I think the puzzles are straightforward, actually. Mm-hmm.
But getting to the puzzles, figuring out where there are, and like some of the items you need, because you had to click on some like random.
You don't need that many items, but you also don't know what items that you have. Yeah. But you do. You own like 3 items, and each age has an item that you need. There was one I sucked at the stone ship age, and that was the first one I tried, and I just couldn't figure out which button to press, and I was like, this game's stupid. And then I moved on to the next age after cheating. I cheated on that one because I needed to, but after that, every age I didn't need to cheat on, because I was like, I understand this puzzle way more than I did the other puzzle. And I think every age is going to have its pros and cons depending on how you solve puzzles and who you are personally.
It helped playing so many Nancy Drew games in the past that you're just like, I rock this puzzle.
Those puzzles are actually kind of similar to the puzzles in Myst. It's a lot of taking notes.
We played a lot of Nancy Drew games.
It's a lot of taking notes in the beginning hub area and reading the books, because the books will tell you how to solve the puzzles. And then once you find the back rooms in the middle area, it basically just tells you how to solve all the world puzzles. And you just have to write it down. And then you go and do it. It's not a lot of... Well, maybe just a lot. It's not a lot of trial and error if you know what you're doing. But you can just, like, brute force it. Which is what I did for a couple of them. But yeah, some of the puzzles... I think were pretty straightforward. But also, I could see it not being straight. When I was looking up stuff online, people are like, this is the hardest puzzle. But it's a completely different puzzle that I had issues with. Mm. So I think everyone's going to have their puzzle that they struggle on and want to quit. And other people are going to be like, this puzzle was so easy. I beat it in one try, like most games. You know, when you go on Game Facts, you're like, how do I beat this boss? And they're like, you need help? Well, I beat it in one try because I'm a genius. And it's like that. I never felt like they were unfair. I just felt like I was stupid. And it was because I wasn't trying hard enough sometimes.
That game just doesn't have any, like, it was really difficult to figure out where to go.
At first, yes. But once you get into the groove, it's like, yeah, I get it. I understand.
It's like being dropped in a world and, like, having to read the manual.
You are dropped in the world with no manual, and you got to figure it out. It's actually you as the person in Myst, which is crazy. You're not playing a character. You're just you, and you fell. Which is cool. That's what I like about Myst. Every single game is just you. Riven looked too hard. I looked at it, and I was like, I'm going to get frustrated at this.
Difficult. I didn't get very far.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on Myst. I think if you did drop it, that's just not your age. Cheat, move on to the next age. Mm. You'll probably feel better about yourself, and you'll be less mad at Myst. I sadly picked, like, the worst age for me first. Which was bad. And that's my thoughts on Myst. No one has to play Myst. You don't gotta play Myst. It was revolutionary for its time, I guess, but it's interesting. I'm just not a puzzle game person, to be honest.
And I like puzzles, but I need also story direction. Like, I need a story.
There is a story.
There is,
but you gotta pick the brother that you want to help, whichever one's the hottest, which is none of them. Or you pick Atrus, the dad. That's how you
surprise. He survives.
But they both suck. It's cool to go to each age and to see, like, because the brothers made houses there, like their thrones and their kingdoms and how they killed everybody in the age.
Yeah.
And now you get to see more about them because, you know, they're being nice to you because they're like, oh, help me, bring me my pages. And then you go into the world and they're like, oh, this one built a torture chamber? Like, maybe I shouldn't
some, like,
help
really
them.
messed up stuff on that.
And this one has a room filled with gold. Like, maybe I shouldn't help that one either. But, like, I have to help them to progress the game. I don't know. It's cool. I like the world of Myst a lot. I think it's really interesting.
There's a VR game now, too, right?
Yeah, the one I played is a VR version. So it's like an updated version of Real Myst. It came out in 2021, and you can also play it in VR, which is cool. I wouldn't want to play it in VR.
The too barfy?
I think I would get too barfy. I get too barfy in VR. But there's only one way to fix that, and it's just staying in VR for a really, really long time until your body's just like, fine! Sleep in VR if you have to.
No, gracias. Are you ready to dive in?
Yep.
It does start with a prologue. And it's Ghehn's boot prints lay heavy around the tiny pools. He's digging a grave.
Gehn, 19.
Yeah,
wife,
he's 19 years old.
Dead. In childbirth. He took his wife to Anna, his mom. But it was too late.
She's got that special healing ability, but the mom was not meant to be. We even find out her name?
Nope. Does that suck? Gehn leaves his son with his mom. Doesn't even name him. And
yeah,
dips.
she's like, oh, your son's here. And, like, he's about to leave. And she's like, what about your son? You're going to name him? He's like, you saved it. You look after it.
Gross.
Ew, Gehn.
We get... yeah. You know this guy's going to be. And then we move to chapter 1.
Well, there's a crack near. It's a very descriptive book. There's like a crack near the volcano, and but it's also a wall, and you see a tall, cloakless figure with funky glasses, and he like disappears into the crack. I was like, did he just yeet himself into that volcano?
Yes. There's a secret passage down there.
Yeah, but we don't find that out till like.
But yeah, you thought he just killed himself in the volcano.
Yeah, he's just like because he left everything behind, and then
don't want my son. Don't want the responsibility of raising a baby, but I do want my son.
Chapter 1 starts 7 years later.
I have little like sections. I call this one "Life in the Cleft."
Mm-hmm.
I saw it on the wiki, the way that they sectioned it out, and I like that. So this is "Life in the Cleft." That's where we're at. It's what it's called. Chapter 1.
So a boy 7 years old is standing next to a caldera. And there is a caravan. He's not supposed to be seen by the caravan, but he is supposed to be observing.
He's having dreams of leaving with the caravan. I guess the caravan traders are scary because they could take you and sell you to slavery, is what his grandma said. Atrus has to hide and watch them every time they come through and then talk to his grandma. What did you see, Atrus? One of the traders has something moving in his sack, and they have to walk back with the goods. It was dry and hot here, is what I wrote. It's like a desert, is what in my mind is what I'm picturing.
But they're next to a volcano, too.
Yeah, so she asks him, what do you see, Atrus? And this time it was he sees a bunch of men in a city to the south. I don't know what that was. I wrote that down.
I do not have that.
He has the sight. She bought him silk and the sack with the moving item, and inside the sack we have a kitten.
The kitten is named Paquette?
Paquette, but they changed it.
He's like, it's more like flame. So it's an orange cat?
So it's an orange cat. Or what if it's not and he's just like that?
It's like a flame.
Never seen a flame in his life.
We find out that Atrus is doing science experiments where he's studying the dunes and the different sides of the dunes.
Yeah, he tracks the dunes movement. You also find out he's 7 at this point. Pretty young. He measured the dunes movements from every angle, the whole. And this is when his grandma tells him the tale of Karath before bed.
But it's his teenage years because Karath gave up the throne.
He's the last good king of the Dani.
Is he like Cincinnatus, where Cincinnatus in Roman times was a dictator? A dictator means something different in those times. And then
is it a good thing?
Yeah, it's like a governor.
Oh.
And then he did what he was supposed to do because they had an elected term, and then Cincinnatus was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going back to my farm. And so the fact that he gave up power, he is like him and like George Washington are the two people that people look at
because they gave up their power. That's
because they did what they were supposed to do, and they're like, I'm gonna go back to my farm, y'all.
Yeah, I was talking
Although
about
I have other issues with George Washington, but that's a tale for another time.
So, Okay, so Dani. This is the last good king of Dani. Where they came from, they had to flee because of earthquakes, is what it says. Had to flee Dani.
So Karath was banished into exile by his dead father's brother. Very Hamlet of him. And he rode a great lizard to the capital is the story.
That's cool.
That she's telling him. That's his bedtime story. We do hear about the fall of Dani in a couple different chapters. I have them marked in the book for...
Kurith was living in the underground desert of Tirmarkti, the place of poisoned waters, since he was exiled by his brother after his father died. Scandal.
It was his uncle.
Those are my notes.
Yeah.
From the text.
Because I have his dead father's brother is what I have.
Well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That is unimportant. You're going to get so much unimportant information because I took crazy ass notes.
Yeah, it was hard to figure out what was important and what was not.
But that's it for that chapter 1.
Yeah.
Because now we move on to chapter 2.
Atrus is now 10, so 3 years later. He sees the first sign that there's a darkening in the eastern sky.
He's freaking out, but his grandma's like, yes, this is the best.
She's so excited.
I'm excited to be here. It's a big old rain cloud.
Anna tells them they have to take precautions, fetch the seeds and the bowls. And this is where we find out that Atrus has never seen rain in his 10 years of life.
He's freaking out. But she goes out in the rain and she's like dancing around and is like, woo, I love this. And he's like, what is that? I'm so scared.
And I guess if you've never seen rain, to see it for the first time would be pretty scary.
Yeah. He's like a dog in a thunderstorm. Where he's
like a light rain. It's like a
downpour.
Rain. And then we get some thunder and lightning. They don't get much rain, so Anna is like, throw all the seeds out. Yeah. Let's harvest them. Fill all the bowls with water. They do have a little spring in their, like, crack in the ground. They live underground.
They're trying to build a garden. They threw all the seeds by the side of the volcano, because they live by a volcano. Yeah. And, like, after the rain pour, the flowers start to grow.
And it talks about there's these, like, blue flowers, and the same blue flowers are next to his, like, mom's grave. And Anna tells them, like, these flowers sit here for decades or hundreds of years and just sit to wait for the rain. But they only bloom for a day. It's so sad.
It is sad. Atrus took some minerals from the volcano after the flowers grew, like, really fast. And he was like, I'm going to test. I have a theory.
Yeah, because some of them grew, like, bigger than the other ones. So he was like, gee, I wonder.
Time to do experiments.
Yeah.
I got nothing better to do, so... 3 months later, after experimenting with the minerals, he finds out it was responsible for the enhanced flower growth. So he's like, I should use these on our crops, actually. And sadly, using that method, it made the crops really gross. And it made Atreus sick, and it killed his cat.
Yeah, he's like chopping up these stalks. And I put mint. I don't know if it was mint, but... I was like, he says it gave him stomach cramps. I was like, is there like arsenic in there? And he just,
I don't know.
Because the cat was lying.
But also this is like a fantasy thing, so it could be
different
magical
world.
fantasy world soil.
But the cat was like lying in the dirt over there, and
I think it ate one of the crops or something.
Or...
I don't know, but Flame was short-lived.
Yeah.
Like, ended chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was the point of having that cat?
Well, it had it for 3 years, too. So something to care for, maybe.
I guess.
Slept with him.
So chapter 3 is...
He's now
is 14.
14. So 4 years from the previous chapter.
He's doing more experiments. He's at the top of the volcano. He's doing like an experiment in the crater. Experiment to charge a battery to automate the drawing of water. He's trying to make his farming life a little bit easier. There's a lot of batteries in Myst.
So he's using like steam to...
This is kind of a Myst puzzle.
Yeah.
It worked to cause Atrus to pass out from the heat explosion. It like blew up.
Yeah, it blows up.
And then he passes out. And then when he comes to, he's like, "Oh, the battery's charged." But I have to wait. No, this is when
he's in the middle of the crater.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he sees a cave.
I broke my battery, but not really. And then he looks up and he sees an entrance to a cave.
Yeah.
And Anna, of course, is like running over and she's like, "Get out of there!"
"What did you see?" And he's like, "My battery is charged.
But I left it down there."
But he didn't tell her about the cave.
Mm-hmm. So, and then my note at the end was like, did his dad not eat himself?
He eat himself into the cave.
Yeah.
Such a dramatic guy. Chapter 4. At night, he sneaks down to his battery and that secret tunnel that he found.
Mm-hmm. Because
I'm pretty sure that his grandma was like, don't do that ever again. You exploded. He sees a Denis word cut into the wall. And he's like, that's weird. And then he finds a red rock, or a red marble, I think is what it's called.
Is it the flame marble?
Yeah, it's the flame marble, which I think is in the game. And he slips it into his pocket, and he went back up to move the battery out of the crater before Anna wakes up.
No, but she's there, sucker.
She woke up. And she's like, "I'll help you move the battery." Tells him the tale of Tiana. Says that she is to blame for the fall of Denis, which she is not to blame, as we find out. But
well, there was a dude that...
Tiana feels bad about it.
Yeah. It's like she made the wrong choice. I marked it down. I marked it down in here, guys.
You did?
Yeah, because we hear the story again from Gehn. So all it says, so she finishes her tale. So when Viovis, is that how you say that? Returned, the fate of the Denis was sealed. Within a day, the great work of millennia was undone. The great caverns of the Denis Empire emptied of life, all because of Tiana's misjudgment. And then he says, "So you blame Tiana then?" And she nods. But she couldn't have known, surely, besides she did what she thought best. So we don't get the full story from her. We just get that little bit. But we'll get a little bit more of the story.
Well, she's trying to, give him a warning, being like, this lady thought that this was best, but then it wasn't. So
yeah, don't trust
yourself. Wow.
Yeah, like, don't trust men. Because
he shows her the marble and is like, "There's a tunnel down there. I saw it, Grandma." And she's like, "Don't go down there again. It's dangerous."
Well, it doesn't matter because Daddy's back.
I said I think she's trying to teach him the Denis language, or at least thinking about doing that. Denis is complicated. Because there is a chapter. This part's confusing.
Find out later.
The time that he's hanging out with his grandma.
Yeah.
When I was taking notes, I was like, is this happening, or are these motherfuckers just thinking about doing that?
Oh, yeah.
At one point, I thought she was teaching him how to swim, but she wasn't. She was thinking about it because of the rain.
Oh, if it would have filled up the caldera, but it was short-lived.
Not needed.
Yeah.
I didn't need this. Anyway, yeah. A month later, the Myst rolls in, but not the M1. The M-I-S-T. And guess who comes with the Myst?
Daddy's home.
Trace's. It's Atrus's deadbeat dad, Gehn.
Gehn comes back, and he wants Atrus to be his research assistant.
Yeah, he's been living in the Dini ruins, and
he's like, Mom, you suck at raising my son that I abandoned 14 years ago.
I didn't want to deal with the dirty diapers, so I'll take him when he's like 14.
Yeah, because he can like
talk to me as an intellectual, because I'm so smart. And it's like, no.
This guy is gross the entire book.
Yeah, get ready. This guy sucks. You know that because you played Riven.
So he's like, we're leaving in the morning because I have experiments. They're very important. And yeah.
I said that Anna wants to come too, but piece of shit Gehn says that's not the Denis way.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically taking Atrus by force.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He's like, he's my son.
So now we're in chapter 5 in a section I like to call, this is about Gehn and the Denis. Because he's about to tell us what his thoughts are on Denis culture that he's been studying, I don't know, for 14 years at this point.
Oh, yeah. This is so sad. Gehn says he promises to bring him back in 3 months because Anna's like, no, he's not going with you.
Yeah.
He's like, but I'm his father. And so she says she hopes that Atrus will be a better son to your father than fate allowed him to be with us. I was like, oh, he sucks already.
So yeah, Atrus and Gehn are gone. Gehn gives Atrus a bunch of fire marbles because he's like, check this out, Dad. And he's like, I have a bunch of them, so you can just have those. He gives him Denis clothes to wear. He's like, those rags are gross. Here's new clothes.
Yeah, he's trying to erase everything that Anna taught him because he thinks also that she sucks. So
yeah, he's got mommy issues. They see some cool dripstones, and then they make it to the Denis entrance path, and it's a little too hot on the way to Denis, and
also,
Atrus just passes out.
Yeah, I think you made a comment on Fable, or like, he just keeps passing out everywhere. And he's tired because his little world was like 10 feet wide. Yeah. And he's not used to walking very far.
And he has to walk far.
Like days. This trip takes days. And the whole time Gehn is in front of him, like not giving directions, just like, keep up, kid. It's like, you came to get him. Like, you need to be a better communicator. But no, yeah.
The like passing out all the time is so like fictional story.
Mm-hmm.
This happens so often, especially in the books that we read, where I was like, dog, if you're passing out that much, you're dead.
I feel like it's just to skip time.
It is. It's 100%. It's for storytelling reasons. It's not realistic at all to pass out that often. And this happens in the books we read all the time. This happens in the games we play all the time.
The eyes close, and then all of a sudden, the next day.
And then I wake up like hours later. No, if I woke up hours later, I would be dead. Usually when you pass out, you wake up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because something is really wrong. But yeah, he just took a nap. Half the time, I think if you pass out for a really long time, you're just taking a nap and you're using it as an excuse to pass out.
And this whole walk is all underground too, and it's dark, and he doesn't have a lantern, just his dad does. And there's a part where there's like lava, and he loses his sandal. His dad doesn't even notice at all, except for they pass this bridge. That rope bridge, which there's a picture of in here.
Isn't that chapter 6?
Oh, maybe.
Gehn saved him from falling off that bridge. Oh, yeah, because he passes out, like, on a bridge. Because it's too hot. They're, like, in a lava cave. And he passes off the bridge.
Oh, he also, again, has a mask. And he didn't bring one for Atrus. Yeah. But Atrus, like, had one. And so he's like, good thing I have this mask in this.
This dude was so unequipped to take his son. I feel like...
Yeah. He like brought fancy clothes for him and new shoes, but
not a mask.
Not a mask. And I was like, that's why he's passing out, because he's where this like sulfuric lava is. He's breathing in all these awful fumes.
Gehn basically says, I only came to get you because I wanted a smart friend, and I was surprised you were still alive.
Yeah.
And shows Atrus how the Denis measures time. It's different.
I have
it's
a
longer
question
days.
about that.
And set to biological rhythms of the environment. And Gehn is taking...
6?
No, yeah, we're on chapter 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he also never answers any of, like, Atrus's questions.
No.
Like, he's asking about all these things as a new environment, and he's just, like, doesn't respond at all. So, the biorhythm thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think I put, he's got a watch. It said, the Denis tell time by biorhythm of the environment with a watch? Okay, bro. And it's like each thing then would have its own biorhythm.
Yeah.
So how do you set time when... I didn't get it at all.
I don't think it's important, to be honest.
It's just, I think it was meant to say it's longer days.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with the fact that, like, when you create worlds, maybe their time zone is different than your time zone, so maybe you're just keeping track of, like, your time zone and the time zone that from the base world that you were already in. Something
It's like interstellar planet gravity stuff. Time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I need a big old.
There was a part in this
me.
book that I was definitely like, "Is this Inception? Did this book inspire? Did this game inspire Inception?"
I mean, this game inspired a lot of people and a lot of things. They make it to the Denis boat, and they take the boat to an island.
He's also looking at a notebook like the whole time. That
he's taking notes in this notebook, and because he always asks, he's like, "What's in that notebook?" And he's like, "Wouldn't you like to know, son?"
But it's because it's the map, so
yeah,
he's like following a map to get here.
And
again, it takes like 3 days for them to get
Atrus
there.
falls asleep on the boat.
Yeah.
At least he didn't pass out. When he wakes up, he's in a new room, and he slept the whole day because he's tired.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the island of
Kinnear.
Kavir.
Oh, Kavir, yeah.
So in this like mansion.
But it's like a broke ass down mansion.
Yeah, it's like an old ruin. It's like a ruin of a mansion. I think it's like the castle or whatever.
Because Atrus will spend his mornings fixing this island.
There's like dark water around it. Atrus is like, I think I saw something in the water, in the moat. Unsure.
He also doesn't know how to swim. He hasn't been around water.
That's true. He just saw rain for the first time, so give him a break. This mansion has a serving man.
This was weird.
Named Regis.
Who doesn't have eyelids.
And he's mute.
Yeah, so he's mute, and Gehn's like, don't bother, because, like, Atrus is like, hi, nice to meet you, and
he's like, don't bother, he's mute. He also gives him rotted fruit.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Which is weird. I like how I wrote notes, but I also made annotations to my notes.
I definitely put, ew, gross.
Why? Why did that happen? Gehn takes Atrus to the library, and he picks up a green book. That's Atrus's book. Remember that. Because there's the red book and the blue book, and the green book is Atrus's. He opens it. Him and Gehn travel through it to another world that Gehn
magical
made.
picture portal book.
Yeah. You open a book, and there's just a GIF. That's usually how it goes. There's a GIF.
It's like your QR code.
Of,
Please
like...
scan.
A little trailer to the world, and then you're like, ooh, and you touch it, and you get teleported.
Now we're in chapter 7.
Oh, Gehn wants to teach Atrus how to make books, too.
Yes.
Now we're in chapter 7.
Gehn is looking for a phrase, but not that one.
Gen's first assignment
that one has
to
too
Atrus
many words.
is to practice figures he sees in the book of Rekhevor?
Yes.
We're in Gen's POV in this one.
But so at first, Gehn is in his library, and he's like, so in the picture book, right, there are a bunch of words, and that's what makes up that's the words and the sentences, the way that they're structured and all that makes the world. Mm-hmm. It's the base of it. And so when Gehn is looking at it, he's like, there's too many words here. And that's going to be his problem, because he's missing adjectives.
He doesn't like descriptive things.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I want this short and sweet and to the point. I says Gen's POV is he's thinking about how great it is that he gets to talk to somebody, because it's been years.
But also another question.
He's a little emotionally stunted.
Yeah, absolutely. He locks his library room. I'm like, you're the only one there, bro.
Except for the weird butler that he has. Yeah. Why does he have a weird butler? Oh, because he's an egomaniac and is like in control.
Someone else needs to do this for me.
Did he build him mute on purpose so that he could just talk?
We find out later he takes people from the different worlds.
Yeah, that he makes.
But I was
And then Gehn goes into a book to do quote unquote something. We don't know.
But oh my god, the male loneliness epidemic has reached Gehn.
Skill issue.
Because he's like, I just need someone to talk to. But he doesn't want Atrus to reply. He just wants him to be
I think that's why he made the mute guy his butler.
Just listen.
Chapter 8. In the weeks that follow, Atrus is really getting into his dad, a little hero worshipy. He's like, he's so cool.
Only ever had his grandma. But in the morning, Atrus fixes the island. In the evening, he copies down words. And does some experiments. And his dad, teaches him lessons. So he's like, school in the evening.
Gehn is like, come on, son, let's go to the city. They're going on a little trip to the city to find some books. So they boat over to the city, and they go through the Carath Arch into the city ruins. And they go to the Stewart house. They open a secret passage. Gehn gives Atrus the fire marble and the lantern. They go down a tunnel to an abandoned mansion. Atrus's voice in his head Anna is asking him, "What do you see, Atrus?" And I thought maybe they were talking to each other, but they weren't. And he's thinking, why does your dad want more books?
Yeah.
I'm confused. Anything else for chapter 8?
Well, I put that, Anna taught Atrus to be observant and curious, and his father's rarely answering any of his questions. So he's asking all these questions. He sees fish, he's never seen fish before because he doesn't grow up near water. And his dad's like, those are fish, dummy.
That's what he saw in the dark water. Because he's like, what is that? Yeah, and his dad's really mean to him about it.
Because he's just, wants to know all these things, and his dad could be the hero and be like, let me tell you how smart I am.
It's so great to have someone to talk to, as in talk at.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to talk about what Atrus wants to talk about. He just wants to talk about what Gehn wants to talk about. So this is going to go really great for everyone.
Chapter 9 is they're in the district of Jateri,
which is the guild district.
And Gehn just busts the lock on the door. He's not solving puzzles. He doesn't solve puzzles. Atrus is going to be like, I wish I could solve the puzzle, but Gehn is just going to punch doors.
There was a puzzle with different book stands and you had to move it a certain way. And then it opened up a panel. And
this reminds me in some games, you solve a puzzle to open a chest and you get all of the items in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
If you just punch the chest and break it, then you lose some of the items. Yeah. And I was like, that kind of feels like this. I kind of wish in Myst you could just brute force punch puzzles to solve them. And then I'd win. But in Myst, all this shit was made by Atrus, so you gotta solve puzzles. Or his sons.
So Gehn consults his little book of directions again. We talk about there's the common libraries. And I was like, so a public library? Because the guild has their own secret library.
Yeah, we're in the guild district. So there is a Myst MMO thing that they did. And so there's different guilds you can join. And the guilds are bookkeeper guild and all that kind of stuff. And this is the rich people's guilds.
And there's a book that has a blank page. And we find out, don't go to an age that's dead. I'm like, why not just destroy the book then?
Books are regulated by the guilds. This is because this is the rich people one. So the rich people own their own books and ages, and I guess the working people have to borrow it from the library. Atrus almost touched a window, dusting off a book. Gehn snatches his hand, pissed about it.
He's like, don't you know? And he's like, no, what's happening?
So he busts into the book room, and he's like, oh, I could have solved that puzzle, but whatever. So they made it to the main book room, and there's no books but skeletons chained to desks.
Yeah, and we just don't even talk about it. They just move on. I'm like, what?
Are they chained to the desks to write the books?
We will never know because that is the only description. And also, that's the only talk of skeletons.
That's true.
There's none anywhere else in the city. Even though we know the city was destroyed. So...
yep, that's it. That's all you're going to hear about that.
It was that... I was like, what? I wrote in Fable. I was like, we're just gonna gloss over this? So we're just gonna...
I'm sure the Denis weren't great, like most civilizations, like all civilizations, actually. Sorry.
All come to an end. So Atrus finds 8 empty books. They're called Courtney.
I just put red, green, and blue.
And then Gehn finds ink
with blank
and
pages.
pen.
They're trying to find the blank books so that he can... Because I guess Gehn didn't have any blank books, so he's like, let's go to the city and get some blank books.
And he had to get special ink and pens.
They took 8 books. I'm surprised the ink hasn't dried out, but it is magical, mystical Denisland.
I would also... What if the ink was... At first I was like, is the ink going to be their blood? Because they're the Denis. They're the last of the Denis. And the Denis is the only ones that can make
blood
the books.
is ink? Oh, so blasé.
This is the 90s, okay?
People love that.
Chapter 10?
Chapter 10.
2 weeks later.
It's finally time for Gehn to teach Atrus how to write.
It's been like forever. It's been
2 weeks since they found that book, and I guess he was amping up for it. Using the Denis language, they can create worlds and become as gods, according to Gehn.
Yeah, so this is where we get some of the lingo of, like, there's the book, and those are the ages. And then he's like, each book needs to have at least one linking book. If you don't have a linking book,
because it takes you back to where you came from.
I was like, that works like a hyperlink.
It's like putting the book in your pocket before you go to the other world that you made so that you can have a way to get back. Otherwise, you're just trapped.
And then they spend a lot of time talking about, like, well, what happens if you update the book? Then your linking book also automatically gets updated.
Automatically. Like,
I was like, that's a hyperlink.
Weird. That's a hyperlink. It must be written in the age and location you want to go back to. So you can't, like, find a book and then write it in a different world and be like, I want to go back to the Denis place. Too bad.
Yeah, it has to be linked.
There. It has to be there.
Before you go in.
It's like a Death Note where you have to, like, think about it while you're there.
There was a lot of description about it. And I was like, okay.
If the description book is changed, then the linking book location will change too. We already talked about that. Later, Atreus is like, yo, it's been 3 months. Time to see my grandma.
Yeah, and Gen's like, you fool.
I lied about that. I have no plans to let you see your grandma. And your grandma? Toxic.
Yeah, and then he tells the story about the fall of the Denis, where there was Viovis. He
started riots.
Talking shit. And they're like, this guy's dangerous. And so he goes to the court, and the court's like, all right, let's banish him. And Tiana's like, no, like, let's forgive him. And, like, see,
well, they were going to kill him.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't kill him. Put him in jail for life.
Yeah.
3 days later, he broke out, and he came back with a militia.
Wasn't he in, like, the lower town part? And he was like,
he was starting riots.
These people suck.
Yeah, it's like one of those, like, I hate rich people. They're, you know.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich. And then the rich people were like, can't have that. We're just going to kill him. And she's like, no, don't kill him. Just imprison him.
Yeah.
And then he broke out, and then he came back with a militia, and he took down the empire. And then we find out
that Tiana is Anna.
Drumroll.
And it's like, no shit, Sherlock. Like,
yeah, it's kind of figured.
Different. It's like of Anna, right? Tiana. And then
Tiana.
The big thing, though, in here is that Atrus knew Denis the whole freaking time. He's like, oh yeah, my grandma taught me.
So pissed. And I was like, honestly, I kind of don't blame him.
It was so funny, though, because he's writing these, like, he's having him write lines, basically, for weeks before to, like, learn the language. And he's like, I already knew.
But he's been keeping it secret, but he brings it up because he doesn't like his dad shitting on his grandma.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, well, I knew it the whole time because of her. And he's like, what?
Yeah, she told me all these stories. I already know all this stuff.
So he locks Atreus up in his room for 3 days.
Without food, too.
But he had food. Because when he came in, he was, like, snacking.
Yeah, because he keeps it because he never knows his dad's
Smarty.
He has, like, apples in this closet.
Yeah, 3 days later, Gehn comes in, and they speak only Denis from now on. So when
there's, like, no apology whatsoever either. Yeah. His dad's just like, I guess I can let you out.
Saying he'll never see Anna again. And then the butler guy will send a note to her. And it's time to learn books. But only if He never has questions or schemes behind his back again, is what he said. Basically, he's like, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to write the books, but you can never ask me any questions ever again.
Yeah, he's such
insane.
douche.
That's insane. And Atreus is like, well, I don't really have a choice, I guess.
No, there's no choice. Chapter 11?
Yep.
3 years later.
Gehn takes Atrus to his 37th age.
Because Gehn sucks so hard that he cannot name any of these worlds or ages or anything like that. He just numbers them.
Yeah.
And the Atrus is like, this guy's a fool. Like, what is happening?
Because Atrus, when he was writing, he was like, I named my ages. Like, what is your deal? So this age is inhabited with people who worship Gehn here. And so when they show up, Gehn gives this big speech saying, this is my son, he'll be staying. Treat him like a king, you know. He wants Atrus to study this age and find out why he's basically, he doesn't say this, but he's trying to figure out why his ages are unstable and bad. So he's like, son.
Adjectives, bro. You gotta use adjectives.
Son, I want you to study this age, and I want you to figure out what's wrong with it.
There's 200 people also in this village.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so this is where, this comes up several times in the book where Atrus is like, do these worlds already exist? And we're like creating a link to these worlds, or are we totally creating this world on itself? And they never answer that question.
They kind of do, actually.
Because of the birds?
Because of the blank pages where they were like, we had a time before Gehn.
Yeah.
In this world specifically. There is a point.
Oh, yeah. So the worlds already exist.
The world has already existed, but they're changing the worlds.
Because the other thing that made me question, especially for this one as well, was I was like, is Gehn actually writing his own worlds, or is he taking pre-written worlds if it's created by the Denis and like just copying?
I'm pretty sure Gehn specifically is taking worlds that already exist.
Because he keeps asking him, like, what book did you find that from? And Atrus is like, I read a couple, but he's like, I don't read any of those.
Because he's copying lines that he sees.
Yeah.
Because he actually doesn't know
but
how to
Atrus
do
is
stuff.
creating it because he knows the language better.
Atrus is creative writing. Gehn is like copywriting. Yeah. He's just writing down what he's already seen. So
he's AI.
He has no creative thought in his mind. So the days pass and Atrus hangs out with this old lady and he's like, oh, it's like hanging out with my grandma. And he peeps on this girl bathing.
Well, he goes, I thought she was washing clothes.
She was bathing because he was like, ooh, no. And she was like, oh, no, he saw me.
I have that she was washing clothes in the moonlight. I was like, that was weird.
Naked.
Well, you gotta watch the clothes you're wearing. I mean,
yeah. I'm on chapter 12.
Yes. But he also, so he sends Atrus to this old lady who's like lives off to the side. He's like, you're gonna live with her, and like she feeds him, and so it's like he's really kind to the villagers, and Gehn is just a complete dick.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I am your god, to the point where we find out later that these people all have names, but Gehn just gives them numbers.
Yeah.
He's like, you are now number 1, 2, 3.
So Atrus wakes up in the old lady's house and she's like, oh, Gehn wants to see you in his palace. So,
I always pictured these as tents. I don't know why. I'm like, they had a little village. Like everything to me is tent. It has like his name and his like visage on like everything. Everything's like gaudy gold and.
Yeah. A guy comes over to take him to his dad, and Atrus sees a bird for the first time.
Mm-hmm. He's like, what's that?
Whoa! I'm gonna remember that later.
And the people in the village is like, are you Gen's son? Like,
what's that? A fish? Yeah. A bird? He's like a little Disney princess who's never left his little tower.
In the desert.
Like, what's this? What's this?
Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Jack is a Disney princess. Like, he has his I Want song.
Mm-hmm.
There's white things in the air. I bet he's never seen snow. But he made a snow age. When did he learn about snow? The snow age is the DLC. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. He had, like, by the time I played Myst, this dude has had, like, 2 kids. And
that's the end of the book, too.
Been messing around for a while. So, like, he's probably done other stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's gonna go see his dad in his palace.
His dad has a giant map, and parts of the world are disappearing.
Yeah, so he's like, I need you to figure out why the islands are disappearing.
Is this why he goes well, no, because it's 3 years later. I was like, why does he choose now to go to get Atrus?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So he would be.
He seems kind of impulsive
now.
And like random.
Yeah.
So, Atrus notices the soil is not good. He hears a scream, and the girl he was peeping on fell down a hole, and he ends up saving her.
Yeah, there's all these crevices and cracks and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, why is the world like exploding with all this earthquakes?
Breaking apart, things are drying up.
That's probably why Gehn went to get his son, because he's like, I need help. Oh. My worlds are falling apart. So, let me go get that kid I had. Hopefully he's still alive.
Oh, yeah, I have the girl from 4 days ago, so it's been 4 days since he peeped on her in the moonlight.
Atrus goes and talks to his dad about the holes, and he's like, this is a problem. But Gehn's like, I gotta go, I'm too busy.
Yeah, he's packing up and leaving him to figure it out.
I gotta go do something else.
And Atrus is like, well, I was supposed to go fishing, so I guess I can go there now.
So yeah, he goes to the fisherman, and he's like, what is going on in this age? And the fisherman's like, there's this big barrier of mist around here that we're not supposed to go.
Because it like pulls you in.
Yeah. So we're just gonna fish. And so Atrus is on the boat while he's fishing, and he's like, hey, go near the mist. Just go into the mist.
Because also, the things that they pull up, they find all these little fish, and he's like, well, that's enough to feed the whole village. And they're like, silly boy, we use this for oil. And we don't really eat this, because that's part of the issue, is like they don't have like enough food. And
yeah.
And so, yeah, so he's like, go, let's touch the mist.
Let's go touch the mist.
And they're like, oh, heck no. And he's like, I order you?
Yeah. Well, so they have to. So they go into the mist. It was cold. The current was strong. They row really hard. The fisherman says they were mad that they cheated the whiteness, is what he says.
Because if you go to the whiteness, then you're supposed to die. So they're like, something bad's going to happen. We're going to die, like, sacrifice.
But they don't. They make it out. But the fisherman's, like, pissed off. And he's like, never talk to me again. So Atrus goes and talks to Gehn's butler 1. This is the first one. About the whiteness. And he says that it was there before Master Gehn was there.
Our master before your father came.
But Gehn doesn't know about it. So they don't tell him about this.
And so they're like, oh, well, the fisherman and his son will die. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So Atrus gathers all the villagers to talk to them.
And Atrus is like, don't fear the white mist wall. When my dad comes back from his weird trip, we're going to go past that wall and show you that there's nothing to fear. And then thunderstorm. And then Gehn walks in. He makes dramatic entrances. Mm-hmm. He's a great villain because he has flash and substance. He waits until the mist rolls in, the thunderstorms, and he walks in and he's like, I hate you, son.
Yeah, so they say the whiteness is angry. Yeah, and then Gehn comes. And we're in chapter 13?
Yes.
This world is unstable. The island is surrounded by a deep ocean. So it's like they're on a pedestal. And there's like a lake on the island. And so everything is like up. And that's why the mist surrounds it and it like pulls it down.
So, like, the thing that Gehn was doing was was rewriting this world.
Yeah. While
Atreus was trying to fix the problem and doing all this whiteness stuff. So, because Gehn shows up and he's like, what's up? And the villagers all leave. He tries to rewrite it, but it seems to be making it worse. And the island is disappearing. There's, like, cracks everywhere. Yeah. And Gehn is trying to get rid of the mist wall, specifically.
He asks, like, can you fix it? And Gen's like, no doubt I could, but I am inclined to leave it. And I was like, Gehn has no idea what he's doing at all. And so
yeah, Atrus is like, why doesn't my dad stabilize this age? These people are suffering. And Atrus is like, I want to stay here instead of going back with you. But, like, Gehn is throwing a hissy fit because he couldn't fix the world. So he's like, why would I fix it? I don't want... I could, but I don't want to.
I got other things to do, bro.
Yeah. And it's because he's embarrassed because he can't fix it. And every time he tries, he makes it worse. But he's never going to admit that. No. That's why he has to go write this by himself. But the fact that he was writing and trying to fix this world while his son was in it is messed up.
It does not give up. So Atreus tells him as well, like, he's like, we touched it. Like, there was a strong current and it was really cold. And so the coldness is what is creating the mist. And so Gehn takes that and he ends up warming the water to get rid of the mist wall.
Atrus also wants to show his dad the age that he was working on this whole time. But Gehn took down the Myst Wall. They feast later that night. Gehn tells Atrus, we're leaving tomorrow. And Atrus like, can I stay? And Gehn says no, he wants to leave this age to its fate. But Atrus convinces him to at least check on it from time to time. So we're not fully ditching it yet. Chapter 14. I said Atreus is doing some soil bacteria experiments with Gehn to figure out why this world is all messed up.
Yeah, he found a phrase that can help age 37. I said Gehn still sucks, but there's something about bacteria in the soil.
That young girl who, like, he saw naked and skinned her knee down by the hole, her name is Salar, and she's been watching him. They plan on going back to Denis for at least a week. I don't know, I put her name down. She's kind of important, so I put her... She's important. Remember her.
Well...
She's important.
Momentarily.
So they go back to Denis, and then 2 days later, Gehn has locked himself in his study. He calls Atreus to his study. He was reading his 5 practice books and wants Atreus to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
After writing his first age, they jump into the book.
But Atrus is a dummy because he forgot a linking book.
Yeah.
And so Gen's like, good thing I'm not a dummy. Because otherwise we'd be stuck here.
Yeah.
And he says, sorry is, because Atreus is like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. And he's like, sorry is utterly inadequate. Sorry is for fools and idiots who cannot think straight. What a dad.
So this age that the Atreus' age is, it's called Inception.
Inception.
It's a beautiful age. Gehn doesn't care. He wants Atreus to make more ages. Atrus, whatever. I already gave you the warning that we're going to mess this up. So.
Atrus.
You know what I mean. Gehn wants to leave. He has a Korfa Vaja ceremony at the 37th age to get to. And
Atrus ceremony for a new god.
What is that? Gehn is going to make quick little changes to age 37 before they go to the ceremony. Uh-oh, that's not good.
Never. Also, so Gehn is like, you took forever on this book. I need you to make more ages. He's working too slowly. And I was like, what's the point of having all of these ages if...
He wants him to write faster.
Yeah, but he wants just... Because the Denis had, like, hundreds of books with hundreds of ages that people could go to.
But there's also like hundreds of Denis.
Yeah, now that it's just the two of them, he's like propagating his seed to show that I'm a god and create all these worlds. But
he doesn't take care of his worlds.
No, he does not.
So that's his problem. He's like, Atrus, you're being too detailed.
Yeah, take out those adjectives.
So Gehn's little changes messed up the 37th age, and now the village looks deserted and the lake is dry and there's thunderstorms everywhere.
The ocean's receded. I can't remember. Water or something.
The villagers ask Gehn for help, but he's like...
Oh, because the water warmed, so everything like evaporated.
They don't have any food. They don't have any fish.
The Gehn tells people that it's punishment. It's
a punishment / demonstration of his awesome power if they ever choose to defy him, which they haven't. Anyway, this is the ceremony is a god crowding ceremony that happens. So Gehn gives Atrus a pendant that causes the sky to rain to show them like, oh, well, he is a god. Look at this. He wrote it in. It's like lines of code for a game where you're like, if given amulet, rain clouds come down.
Statements, yeah.
Salar, it's the girl I was talking about.
But also, like, what is the point of this? When the very end, he's just like, oh, this world's over.
I'm going to abandon it. I don't know. Maybe just he's so flashy, right? He waits until thunderstorms come in. I guarantee he wrote, when I arrive in world, thunderstorm happen.
Yeah.
Boom.
But it was delayed. So it was
But it was delayed, yeah. So yeah, the girl was supposed to give him a garland of flowers, but she like freaked out and froze.
And like dropped
it. And Gehn like grabbed her, dragged her and kicked her to the side, and then gives his son the flowers because he's like, you're supposed to do this, you messed it up. And then the rain ends up not filling the lake, and Atrus is like, we have to fix this.
Yeah. Not
only did you write this weird thing in, but you also messed it up, and it's not even worked. And Gehn says it's too late, but Atrus is like, you're a god, right? It's not too late.
Trying to appeal to his ego because he's starting to finally figure his dad out.
And then Gehn storms off, causing Atrus to follow to chapter 15.
Atrus challenges Gehn's ability.
Atrus tells him to fix it. Gehn doesn't say anything. Atrus is like, fine, I'll fix it. Since you can't, this causes him to fix it. And he tells Atreus, go check it out now then, because I fixed it. Don't be too long. So Atrus goes to check it out, and the village is different now. They all speak a different language. One ends up threatening him with a club. They, don't remember who he is.
This is what made me think that Gehn is just copying and, making
He is
changes.
copying. Because that's what he told Atrus to do.
Yeah, this would be, somebody else's original world, and he, added blue flowers to it, right? And be like, it's my world. You speak English now, and I'm your god. Because it seems like someone else created this.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, this isn't the 37 age that I knew, and his dad created a different age in an alternate reality, maybe? Atrus takes the linking book and comes back and is like, what the fuck, Dad? You fixed the age by destroying it?
Mm-hmm.
And Gehn is like, I just want to sleep. And Atreus lays into him and is like, your ages are unstable because you don't know what you're doing.
So Gehn says, bet. And he takes Atreus's book and is like, I'm going to edit it.
Obviously, Atreus is
he ends up there is a negative in French where it's nipa. He puts nipa and all of it edit because you can't add to it. Yeah. And so he's like deleting all the adjectives because Atreus is too fancy.
But so Atreus is pissed, but he's like, can you still fix the 37th age? And Gehn throws his book into the fire.
Is it Atrus's book that he throws into the fire, or is it the 37th age that he
I'm pretty sure it's the 37th age. Oh. He's like, I think you can still fix it. And he's like, and he throws it in the fire after pitching the hissy fit and writing in his son's book. So he just goes into his room and writes in his journal, my father is mad.
He's having deep thoughts in his room.
Yeah.
My dad's crazy. And then he asks, am I one of his creations? Did he take me from one of his worlds?
Thinking about that.
Because if he took his servant from the world, but we know that he was born, but then I would think
is Anna in an age? No, because they didn't come into a book, so they walked there. But they're obviously in an age themselves, but also it's, I don't know, do the Denis set up their own place in an age, or...
I don't know. Maybe, but I would assume that because we still don't know anything about his mom. Yeah. So his mom would have had to have been from an age, I'm assuming.
Probably.
He has a pipe, Gehn does. And
he smokes frogweed. I know this from Riven.
Oh, see, I was like, it's definitely opium.
It's made of frogs.
Oh.
That's what
it was a hallucinogen, yeah.
Yeah, so he makes it out of the frogs. So he's going to leave. Atrus is going to leave, and he's like, I'm going to lay into my dad one last time. Before
so he goes into the non-locked library.
His books are everywhere.
He's on the floor, passed out.
Smoking weed.
With his, I was like, definitely opium, but I
guess
if it's...
such a baby.
Yeah.
He has such a god complex, but then he pitches the biggest hissy fit if anyone questions him, and then he gets high and passes out.
So on the ground, Atrus finds a book, and it's titled The Book of Atrus. And he's like, whoa, is this my book? No, it's his grandfather's book.
That's and it's the after.
Grandfather's book of maps, because, again, is not original at all. So he's not the one that discovered a way back. His grandfather did. Atrus's grandfather, Gehn's father. Which did we know what happened to him?
No. But Gehn is a fraud. So he tiny takes his notebook.
And then he asks in his mind, why weren't you what I wanted you to be? Why did you have to be so small? I was like, oof.
It's a good line.
Oof.
You think about that with some people?
Yeah.
I get it.
Expectations.
Expectations will ruin a person.
Yep.
Chapter 16, Gehn woke up. He can't find Atrus, his notebook, or his boat. And he's like, well, I think he left.
And then the lidless servant, I was like, why are you helping this man? He could have just been like, oh, sorry. But no, he tears down a wall to find a hidden boat that the servant has been hiding this whole time.
So he's going to follow him on this old boat that he didn't even know he had.
Yeah. I was like, what a servant.
And then
I'm sure Atrus was nice to you, and this guy sucks. So why are you helping him?
I don't know.
He catches up to Atrus real fast.
Atrus is pretty worried he's being followed using the directions in the notebook. But yeah, he runs into his father really fast. And he's like, I'm just trying to get back to my grandmother. And Gehn's like, give me the book back. I want the book back. Atrus is like, then you'll have to take it from me.
I like how he just like throws it in the air and just tries to run away.
And then the butler guy comes out from the shadows. And he's strong.
Yep.
And he's like, I could have taken my father because he's a weak little small bitch. But I can't take his butler because he's a mute...
lidless butler.
He's a mute beefcake. So Atrus, his plan is to throw the notebook up in the air and then start climbing and like grab it mid-climb. Weird choice, just start climbing.
Yeah.
But
it's
like whatever,
a distraction,
dog.
Yeah, but...
Distraction!
Is this what you want? Throw it.
He should have like have a bunch of books and then be like, you want it? And he's like throw it at him, but it's like the wrong book. He scrambles up and he sees a rope bridge. The rope bridge is gone.
It's broken. He has to jump.
He almost made it. He has to hold on to the ledge and have his dad. He's like, and then his dad pulls him up and he's like, how'd you get to the other side?
Did you really think you could out-jump me?
Did you really think you could out-jump me?
Direct quote. What a douchebag. I was like, he is so gross.
So
like,
funny. It's all the frog juice he's been
this
smoking.
also reminds me of like with some dads when their sons get better in like sporting stuff than they do.
Jumping. Competitive jumping.
And they just like try to wreck their own kids. I'm like, what a gross human being.
I think the whole point of a kid is that they do better than you.
Yeah.
You're training them to do better than you. What did you have a kid for?
Well, you didn't want to in the first
stunt
place
on them for the rest of their lives and create a terrible person? I don't know.
Right, we're on 17.
Now we're on my trapping Gehn chapter. Because now we got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Chapter 17. Don't know what happened, but Atrus is now alone in a room with a desk.
I'm like, is he in the city or is he in a book? Like, I don't understand.
There lays the Age 5 book or Riven. It's Riven time.
Riven, yeah. Also, I'm like, at first, I was like, can you bring a book into a book? I guess you can.
Yeah, I think you can.
I was like, I don't think that should be allowed.
So he's in like a prison room and there's like no secret passage here. The roof is caved in.
He finds a stone cutter in the ground and he like cuts where the door is and then ends up collapsing the roof.
Yeah.
And so now he can't get out, but that also means that Gehn can't come in.
So he's like, I have to go to the Fifth Age. It's my only option. But I also think this is a trap.
Yeah, because he has like the book, he has ink and a pen, and he has a linking book.
Yeah, Gehn gave him a linking book.
And
so
yeah, he's like, he wants me to go in here, but I have no other way.
So he goes in and he's like, I have to hide this linking book first and foremost. So he like puts it on a ledge somewhere.
And it's like there's by a large tree. Yeah. I thought he put it in the tree, but I guess the ledge is where. And then it's this weird water thing where he sees this ladder and he looks up and there's water. So he climbs up the ladder and goes into the water and then ends up being upside down and almost drowns and then comes out the other side of the water. And it's like a gravity thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how? So when you come back to that, like, do you have to, like,
I just said he almost drowned in a hot pool. Hot water, which means Gehn made this because Gehn can't make water.
Yeah.
You can also see like there's a lot of evidence that Gehn was here. You can see a giant temple in the distance, and he's like, "That's
his likeness is on everything."
Definitely my stupid dad. He was rescued by some natives. They have their name is like Karel and Irel, and they have a cousin named Katran.
AKA Catherine.
Not yet.
Well, that's at the end.
He wakes up and they tell him like, "Oh, you're in Riven. Do you want some soup?" And Katrin is creepily watching him like the whole time in the corner.
And she's got a brand on her neck.
Yeah. She asks him like, "Why are you in that pool? And where did you come from?" And he's like, "Well, I can't pronounce your name, so I'm going to call you Catherine."
I'm like, when did we just decide to change her name? It's Katran.
It's Katran. It's not that hard. Atrus.
She even says, like, it's Katran.
It's Katran.
Not Catherine.
Yeah. The hell? You can pronounce everyone else's name perfectly fine, but you can't pronounce mine? Stupid.
And then she says, I dreamed of you.
And then she runs away. And Atrus is like, that's weird. I'm going back to bed. That's my favorite thing to do. Sleep. Chapter 18, Catherine and Atrus are hanging out, and he tells her that she's like, I'm Gehn's son.
Yeah, so also in the chapter, in the writing, like not in the speaking part where he's like, hey, Catherine, but in the parts where it describes her and all that, they change her name in that chapter to Catherine.
They flip-flop.
Yeah.
Which, because I thought if we're in Atreus' POV, then it's going to be Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're in Gehn's, it's going to be...
third person.
Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine.
And like... but no, it like flip-flops, and eventually near the end of the book, it just straight up goes to Catherine.
Yeah.
And she stops caring about the fact that people are messing up her name constantly. So she asks him, like, what he wants, and he's like, I just want to go home to my grandma.
He's doing, like, science experiments, too. And this is the part where I was like, he knows nothing about water, and he was surrounded by a lake for 3 years, where he's like, oh, the water rises when it's warm. I'm like, you mean water vapor? What is happening? The lid catches it. I was like, yes. Did you not boil anything? I know, like, in the desert land, you didn't have water, but in the Denis place, there was all that water.
I don't know. He was too busy doing stuff for his dad. He had a butler. Probably made him rotten food stuff all the time.
Weird.
So she tells him of her dream. Her dream was that a dead man would be found floating in a pool, and he's like, and now you're here.
And it's you.
This is Gehn, right?
So this is, then we find out, like, it goes to the split chapter, is that Gehn, she's in Gehn's library.
Yeah.
Because
she works for Gehn.
Yeah, he's been teaching her how to write books. And we find out later that it's been for 4 years. So that means a year before Atrus.
Yeah. I don't know why he decided. So he has these people write the books, and he's teaching them the same way that he does it, which is just copying stuff that he's already seen.
But they're not of the Denis, so they would never be able to create their own world, is what Gehn told Atrus.
It's what they think, but like Catherine can create her own worlds. That is what Myst is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. He's wrong. Like, he just doesn't know
stuff that I'm like,
it's not a plot hole. Gehn just doesn't know how shit works.
It's also our understanding is through Gehn. So that's why I was wondering if the other books
But our understanding should be through Gehn. Our understanding is through Atreus. And Atreus doesn't know jack shit. He doesn't even know what vapors are. So like
I'm as confused as everyone.
So we're trying to figure it out. We're being told lies by an unreliable narrator, which is Gehn, who's telling it to Atreus, who is kind of like the character insert for us. Yeah. Because we don't know what's going on in this world. But Atreus also knows like a little bit more than we do. He knows Denis, and he knows like a bunch of other stuff. We know obvious things like what water vapor and rain is. So I don't think you should take anybody's word for stuff, and you should try to you have to figure it out on your own. And what I got
just
from
like the game of Myst.
I got from it is that it doesn't, like, the Denis aren't the only ones who can do it.
Yeah. They were just the ones that said, like...
But they obviously made the special ink.
Yeah.
And all that. So they only knew how to do that. But I think other people
it's their language, too.
Yeah. So... Because it has nothing to do with your bloodline or whatever bullshit some royals will say to exclude you from stuff.
Unless she is.
But she's not.
When he wrote the book.
She's not.
He wrote her as the guild, and so he, by creating the world, created more Denis.
You think that's what it is?
Is that your
what is it called?
That's my theory.
No. I really wish I remember words. Headcanon. It's headcanon.
Maybe.
That's what it is.
We also find out that Gehn's going to marry Catherine, whether she likes it or not, in 30 days.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
And then...
Later, Atrus is looking for Catherine, and she's, like, moping in the woods, and he's like, let me walk you home, and Atrus took his linking book from the ledge, and he goes back to his cell, and he's looking
because he wants to read the book. So he's been reading book 5 to get, like, what is the world actually like, and he's looking at the underlying structure and stuff, so he's like, I have some questions about this world, so he leaves the book to read it more about the structure, and then...
So he's in his, like, cell, reading the book to be like, why did he write it like this? And then Catherine comes in.
Yep. Surprise!
With a large blue book, and in chapter 19, he's, like, jump scared, like, how'd you get in here? And he's like, oh, I followed you. I saw where your linking book was hidden, so I just used that. And he's like, so what's up with that blue book in your hand? And she's like, I stole it from
chapter
Gehn.
19. Catherine tells Atreus she stole a book, and it's part of the guild, and that Gehn branded her 4 years ago. So that means that she was there a year before Atrus, because it's been 3 years, right?
Of his elite, aka favorites.
So it's definitely his initials branded into her neck. She wears like a scarf.
She wants Atrus to fix her world, so she
have
brought him a blank book. Their like great tree is dying, so she's like, maybe you can fix it.
And there's like cracks starting to show up, and it's like it seems like volcanic activity underneath the world. It's getting hotter.
Yeah, so Atrus agrees, but he's like, I'm gonna need more of my dad's blank books. So,
but also she tells us like how awful Gehn is, where like someone spoke up to him, and this is even, and
they sacrificed a guy.
Yeah, he made the people throw him into the sea, and he died. And then Atrus is like, "Oh, you talked him into talking to my dad, didn't you? Like you used your feminine wiles on him." And she was like, "He was my friend. He was like my brother."
This is like the same issue as the Tiana story in a way, because he's like, maybe Gehn will listen to you, guy. And so the guy went up and talked to Gehn, and then Gehn was like, how dare you backtalk me? Kill him! Kill him in front of everybody.
Atrus reads Catherine's book, and then they decide to go into it.
Oh, she also says, like, you only have 30 days to fix this.
Yeah, because
But she doesn't tell him that it's because
they're getting married.
The marriage.
Yeah.
And then she links on out of there. So
they go.
Oh, and she also shows Atrus her book that she wrote, and he's like, "Wow, this is really beautifully written. Oh my god!" And then they link into it.
Yeah. So chapter 20 is they're in her world. And he's like, It smells.
It's stinky here.
No, it smells good. He's like, the world is like a dream, and it's like it smells good. I think it smells like lemon and like cinnamon. I think is what he says.
Delightful. They're on a little date in their world.
Yeah, and he's like so fascinated with this book because he's like, nothing here behaved as it ought to have behaved.
Yeah, because so she writes like weird stuff. Like she's adding the weird Myst puzzles, like the water goes backwards and
goes into the
flowers are glowing blue.
But, yeah, they're blue. Ooh. He's like, how did you know?
How did you know
about the blue flowers? Then she's like, hey, look at these stones. You want to skip stones? And I was like, nerds talking about gravity.
This is also at the end of this. She's like, yeah, your dad wants to marry me in 30 days, but I would rather die. So
yeah. And then Atreus tells her at the end, we can do wonders, you and I.
Chapter 21.
So it's been
a few weeks.
I was like 2 weeks, but then it was a few weeks, and then come to find out it's been 20 days, so almost 3 weeks.
He has written 10 ages, and he's like, I think age 5 is doomed. This is
to test out what is happening with age 5. So all the ages that he wrote are books that Catherine stole from his dad.
Yeah.
But they only found 8 blank books, though. So how does he have 10 extra blank books?
I don't know what Gehn has been up to. Yeah. We haven't seen him in a while, so...
his conclusion after all these experiments is that age 5 is doomed. And then the wedding's in 10 days.
He's in one of the experimental ages where the ground opens up and falls and waters rush in. And he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. He's like kind of experimenting a little bit to see what's up. He woke up in the cell all wet. Catherine was there.
Yeah, he almost didn't make it out.
Yeah, she wanted to show him an age that she'd written called Myst.
So the issue that they're having, and the issue in H5 is that the moon is too close. So the gravitational pull is causing the waters and stuff to be too much. And so that's why it cracks and all that stuff. So it's like, oh, the moon's moving too close.
So, yeah, she wrote Myst so that they could run away to Myst after all of this is done. 10 days till the wedding, so watch out.
Yeah.
When she's done, she'll take him there, and they're like, okay, we have to trap Gehn
so
in age 5, because age 5 is doomed. And this is the perfect age, and we'll destroy all the linking books. But first fixing age 5 so that it's at least a little bit stable. Like, they don't want to kill him.
Yeah.
But they want to trap him in.
He almost wants to restart it.
So he's like, I'm going to make the world stable, and then I'm going to trap him in there.
But, Catherine, do you know where the linking book is? And she's like, yeah, sure I do. So she's going to show him where the linking book is, and then she's supposed to go to Myst and wait for him.
Yeah. See, it's his linking book, Gehn, so that he can't link. Is what they're looking for. So, yeah. Gotta get rid of his linking book so he's trapped. 22? Yep. We'll meet her there later. Chapter 22.
They get the book from an area that they uses for ceremonies, and she's like, yeah, he's been telling me all kinds of things. And then there was another thing that Atrus brought up where he's like, well, I'll have to write another age where there's like fruit trees and stuff. I was like, does Myst not have food in it?
I don't think so. It's like a tiny island with like puzzles.
So, like, you have to go to another age to be able to eat? All right. But they spend time together.
Yeah, she gives him a flower. He gives her his journal. He starts writing phrases into book 5, and so did Catherine.
Well, so he does it, and then he goes into age 5, and then Catherine shows up, and then she
does stuff.
I said unfixes it, is what I said. That's the impression that I got reading it.
She's like, I'm just gonna
kill him. So I was like, bitch!
Wow, that's the impression you got?
Well, because I remembered from Myst is that, like, people are trapped in the book, and I think, like, doesn't someone betray Atrus and, like, trap him in a book?
His sons.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, someone put him in a book.
Catherine is in the books.
Yeah, but I don't
Or in the game. Especially Riven. She's, like, really important in Riven.
I did not get that far in Riven.
Oh my god. She's in the beginning.
This was also decades ago. So Atrus is now in age 5, and he overhears people talking about the wedding rehearsal, and he's like, wait, what? There was a rehearsal?
Yeah, because Catherine is like, don't worry, they're not going to expect me yet for the wedding. So he goes to Riven, and he looks at the linking book, and he's like, uh-oh, was she supposed to be here for the rehearsal? That
and they're like, it already happened, and she was so happy. Yeah. They're so in love. She smiled at him. And that's when he was like, girl. Is
she going to betray me?
And he was like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah, he builds a fire, and he brings Gehn's linking book, because he was sneaking around, he stole it, and he's like, I'm going to hold the linking book over the fire, and then I'm going to link, and then it's going to fall into the flames. And that's my plan. And he does that.
But yeah, he has to go get his other book that he climbs up the wall to get it out of, but then he passes out because we find out that Gehn choked him out.
It sounded like he actually linked because he's like, okay, I have this plan. I'm going to touch the book and then it's going to fall in the water. And then the next chapter, he wakes up tied to a pole and he's like, what?
So it's because he had Gehn's book, but he had to go get his book. And his book was like in a crevice, and this is also where I was just like super confused. I was like,
I thought that Catherine had his book.
Well, Catherine takes him to the ceremonial place where she's like, here's the book. And so he has the linking book. But then he has to climb this wall in this crevice to get another linking book out, which I think was supposed to be his.
His is in the crevice. He had to go sneak to get his dad's. Because Catherine was like, here is where the linking book is.
Okay.
And so then he snuck back into the spot and took the linking book. And that's when he was sneaking out and they heard about the rehearsal. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, there's a rehearsal? That's embarrassing.
But then for me, the part where he's like climbing up to reach into the cavern and then he passes out to get the book. And I was like,
but he lit the fire. He was about to do the fire thing because he lit the fire and he was like, all right.
This is again where I'm like super confused.
It's time to link. And then his dad takes him out, just like tied to a pole. Gehn is there, and Catherine's also there.
Yeah.
And Gehn threatens the townsfolk with natural disasters, but Atrus is like, I fixed those, bitch.
Yeah. But then the world starts to fall apart, so
Gehn unties Atrus and says, yes, I told Atrus to do that. It was me. You're welcome, world. Mm-hmm. I told him to fix that. Ha! Gehn tells Atrus that his next son will be better.
Yeah, gross.
After looking at Catherine, then the ground shakes, a crack opens up, the sky turns black. Uh-oh. The linking book fell. Atrus attacks Gehn. Gehn grabs a spear. Catherine has one of the linking books.
No, she has both linking books at this point. Because they were on the ground. She picks up both linking books and she's like, leave him alone or I'm going to drop these into the cavern. And Gen's like, but I love you. And so she drops one of them and it goes in the cavern. And she's like, what?
And then he throws a spear. He throws one spear aside and then he walks towards Catherine. And Catherine says, you want the linking book? Then come and get it. And throws it up in the air.
She throws it out over the cavern.
Which is what Atrus said at that other point.
Which is also like at the it like almost parallels him trying to go back to Anna and like he throws the book, but
so she throws it also in the cavern when he dives.
Yeah,
and
he goes
it
for it, but
explodes.
too late because it like hits. I'm assuming lava is coming through all these cracks, and that's why these books are catching on fire.
I don't know,
but it does not specifically say that.
Atrus and Catherine had gone.
Yeah, when Gehn turns around, they're gone because they're a little further away. It's like, oh, there they are running.
Because she's like, come and get it. She throws the book up in the air like he does, and then she just runs.
Mm-hmm.
She just runs into the woods
with
Atrus.
And then she says, everything is going as Anna and I planned.
And he's like, what? Anna, my grandma?
Yeah.
She links into the Myst book, leaving Atrus alone with Gehn, who catches up with them.
Yeah.
Because they were going to link together in the woods.
Yeah, so Atrus has the Myst book, which I guess was written by Anna then.
Mm-hmm. Well, Anna and Catherine together. They have the like, you're the chosen one. I trusted you. And he's like, you haven't taught me anything.
You fool.
Play God in your own stupid made-up island talk. Atrus jumps into a crack in the earth and links midair.
Yeah. So then the book is in the crack where no one can get it. And then, because the point of the world is that it's supposed to reconnect. So the book will be somewhat safe in the ground. Like the crack
or it'll
close.
Explode. I think he was hoping that it exploded. But it didn't. Because it's the book that you use to get into Myst. Which means you from Riven? Mm-hmm. Where does the cracks lead? Earth?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Then we get we could fall into night and be cradled by stars and still return to the place where we began.
What?
I don't know. It's a quote I have in here.
Because it's romantic sounding?
Sure. Wait, she touches... Oh, yeah, here goes full lenses. So that was, falls into the stars is what, because he falls into the crevice. So the whole thing was because the waterfall goes backwards and has you, like, swimming in the stars, which was kind of like the rain thing from the beginning of the book.
I see. Nighttime. A callback.
It was, Epilogue.
Anna was following them since they left for Denis to make sure that Gehn didn't harm him. Catherine had met her, because we find out, like, what the deal is. Catherine met her after Gehn knocked out Atreus and locked him up.
Mm-hmm. So she went to the library, and then it's like, oh, Catherine. Oh, there's also, so on the island of Myst it's like Atreus, Anna, Catherine, and the boys. So this is like much later.
So yeah, Myst is Anna's creation. She also helped Catherine rewrite Riven and all of its natural disasters, but it is stable now. Mm-hmm. They fixed it. The Myst book fell forever until you find it and start your playthrough of Myst.
Ba-ba. You said the last line is the beginning?
The last line in the epilogue, I think, should be the beginning monologue from the game. What's the other book?
The second book is the Book of Tiana.
And then what's the third book?
I don't know. So, what the last... I know my apprehensions might never be allayed, so I chose to realizing that perhaps the ending was not yet written. Is this I realized that I fell into a fissure?
Yeah, it's like this whole thing. I think. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, dude. You know Myst. You know how it is. I don't remember. I know it was like been, I don't know, a week since I played Myst.
It's been decades since I played it. All right, our next book
is the High on Life comic by Robbins, Wallis, Jordan, and Lentz. And this is the in-between, like, between High on Life and High on Knife, the DLC. And it's also because the second one is coming out soon. Ooh. So,
that also means that you're not going to have Kenny anymore, right?
Kenny's not in this one. This is kind of how you got your new gun Harper for the DLC.
Kenny's not going to be in the second one?
No, he's not in the second one. So this will describe Harper and all that jazz. So I'm excited because I love High on Life. So we will see you
next
time.